Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Young Professional Show. I think it might be a little much to say that this is the number one podcast for business growth and innovation, but in my eyes, I think it is. Today, we have another incredible episode coming at you. This is our Mindset Monday series where we talk about different things that relate to what it's like being a young entrepreneur in any field. So this isn't going to be real estate specific necessarily, even though we are all realtors in our local areas. And without further ado, let me introduce my crew to you. We got my boy, Jacob Buckley. He's been with me for 18 years on this earth. 18 years he's been by my side, and now we sell real estate together here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And next up, the man that absolutely runs the St. Petersburg market. He's the reason Grant Cardone moved out because he couldn't get any more deals. Mr. Larry Lanny. Come on, he's an incredible guy. Let's go. And then, of course, we got the man, the myth, the legend. Bill Clinton knows his name. He spent time overseas. And most importantly, he's on the Forbes Top 1000 list. He owns a vertical farming company where he sells the top microgreens in Scottsdale, Arizona. Local farming generator, incredible person, business developer, Lucas Baghdadi.
Wow.
And without further ado, let's get into this episode. Before we get started, I do just want to say if you're enjoying these episodes, we would really love it if you would like and 5-star this on Apple, give it a good rating on Spotify, and go ahead and follow the YouTube and Instagram. Boys, let's get started. Lucas, what do we got?
All right. So here's the deal. First of all, Drew, your intros are getting more and more legendary every time. I really
They
like the
are.
Grant
I
Cardone.
wanna I wanna intro like Lucas someday. That's
Yeah,
my
right.
goal.
Saying that we come on, dude. Come on, dude. I've known you for too long. I've known you for too long.
Side note, Lucas, you got wheatgrass?
I got wheatgrass. I got it all.
You do.
I do. I do.
We might have to
Actually,
talk after this.
so I'm gonna tell you why I sent you guys that message the other day about what I'd love to talk about. So I'm selling my produce at the market. Right now, we sell microgreens. In my opinion, they're just the best thing to start off selling. And the reason is why is I have people like this approach me. So I had this girl that came up to me at the farmer's market, and she basically, I don't want to say broke down, but as I asked her more questions about like, where are you from here? Do you eat microgreens and stuff? She says, yeah, did you know this actually saved my life? And I was like, no, I did not. And I've met very few people that I actually know that use microgreens to save their life. But once you find out more about it, you're like, holy shit, this is a very powerful tool. So we were talking, and she basically had, with a combination of exercise, specifically running, she had actually, she used to weigh 260 pounds, I think she told me, and she's now down to 130, I believe, and she had two autoimmune disorders, and both of those were actually cured. And this was what she accredited to the greens that anyone grows that are microgreens. But it made me realize, we were talking even more, and we were like, well, why the hell does no one teach you this stuff? And if someone did teach you this stuff, wouldn't we probably be a lot healthier? And if the world was healthier, it'd probably be a happier world to live in for all, right? So I kind of like, I don't know, dissected it a little bit more with my group that I work with, my team. And we started to talk about like, well, why have we not discussed like, if there was a school and we were to design it, like what would that really look like, and like what would be the foundational things that if we were to learn those things, like we wouldn't all be dropped off in this world trying to figure it out. Like it's one thing to figure out like who you are and what you want to do, but to not have the foundational pieces of like to be real with you guys, I want to be the best cook in the world. I can cook maybe 5 to 10 things, and Sarah and I are eating the same thing every single day. But like at the same time, imagine if I learned how to cook. Imagine if I understood nutrition. Imagine if I had skills of creating websites or design. And I guess the good thing about this conversation too we can have about is we can. There are so many ways to learn how to do those things and why it's important to do those skills. But without further ado, I thought that would be a great thing to talk about is what would we wish we did learn and how would we design our school today?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, super super fascinating topic. Um, as people that know Jacob and I know, we tend to shit on school a little bit. We kind of always have. We were there for fun. We weren't really there to learn. So school, I think there's a lot of changes that can be made in the public school system that would help people and help kids a lot, at least from my perspective, growing up and trying to carve my own path in this world. But um, one thing that our school did do a pretty good job on was understanding what it's like um, to be a working person in this world and also being an entrepreneur. And I'm very grateful for that because a lot of schools do not lead you down an entrepreneur path. I think a lot of schools kind of their goal is to get you into the next cycle of education, and if we're being real, college creates employees. And I'm not shitting on employees, but that's not what I want to do. And I know anybody listening to the show probably feels pretty similar, right? So as far as what I think a school would really be interesting on, it would be how to carve your own path as an entrepreneur, really learning more about business in high school rather than having to wait to college to get a business degree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Our business development class did a good job at that. And that's what set us on our path to real estate. That's how we got into real estate was our business development class. So if it
Yeah.
wasn't for that, then but like I can't say that about any other class in high school.
You guys had business development classes in high school?
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you.
You guys didn't like school in Iowa? Dude, I my and if you look this up, I don't know the stats, but I do know just from secondhand knowledge that like Florida public schools are not nothing to write home about. I think we were doing like basic writing, math, reading, geography, history stuff. Like the specialty class was when you got into like a little like history and they slapped like a little name on it, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, post whatever time era of, Asia history. And I was like, oh wow, we're really getting after it here.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Well, I'll tell you, dude. Our school, I it's actually incredible because I talked to other people about this too, and they're like, "Well, we had nothing like that." Sorry, I just kind of slapped my mic around. Um, yeah, we actually had a class where we had to start a business, and this actually goes back to middle school. I think in like sixth or seventh grade, we had to come up with an invention, and then we actually had to pitch it to a bank and see if we could get a loan for it. And so it started way back in middle school, kind of putting that entrepreneurship in you. And um, what I came up with was a dry fit shirt that had cut out pockets on the inside that you could slip in a ice pack, and it was a cool down shirt while you were running. So that was kind of cheesy. But then once we got to high school, we made a few things. We made um, a mirror that had a TV screen behind it that would allow you to work on, and I believe Peloton now makes that. We came up with pink Starburst lemonade, which was a
Oh
really
yeah.
good idea um, in my eyes. So yeah, we had a lot of really great business classes that actually taught you the fundamentals of it during high school.
Oh, well, then your school would have been kind of cool.
No,
Was
not
it
at
was it
all.
public?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It is public, but it's the number one school in the state of Iowa and 34th in the United States for its education test.
Ah,
Wow.
cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Lucas, what do you think? I mean, what do you something is going on in your brain about this?
Well, for me, it's like, I guess I feel like I did it right, but I also feel like I would have probably have knocked out even more things. For instance, at 18, I did have the ambition to go get my real estate license. I knew whether I was pursuing it or not, I wanted that license. I wanted that ability uh, to be connected in that world. And I looked at it as thank God that I did it, and I'm glad I got it done. And now that I look back at it too, though, I would have done the same thing for insurance to understand more about insurance. I'd have done the same thing for my mortgage license, which I'm currently in pursuit. And I would have really made sure I knocked out all those things that when you are 18 do give you the ability to level you up in a lot of ways. And then, you know, I guess what really sparked this about me was, and there's so many podcasts, and there's so many conversations about like, oh well, I wish they don't teach you about taxes and all this stuff, and that is so beyond true. And like, there could be still a million conversations left to have about it, because the truth is, like, any way that we could figure out how to level ourselves out, a lot of him was outside of school. And I guess that's what frustrated me, because I spent so much time in school that I would have loved to see those hours of whenever it started, 7:45 to 3 o'clock, I think it was. Like, I just know that if I was more effective with my time, I probably, I don't need to know all the dates of everything that happened in the Civil War, but I would have loved to have these licenses and those things that allow me to accelerate, so that when I did learn about the Civil War, I actually enjoyed it more and wasn't so tested on it. So I just thought that for me, I was like, damn, I really wish I utilized that time better. And I feel like schools could have done a better job of that.
Yeah, not, and you're exactly right. I mean, do I fully agree that the importance of history and all that stuff and mathematics, even though we live in a world where any sort of math equation could be done in seconds on a phone, do I still think that it's good to go back and learn the fundamentals? Yes, I do. But I just think the way the school system is tested and worked on is a little out of date. And I think there's other things that you could implement with the time of being inside school that would work you so much better. We had an incredible math teacher named Mr. Barbier. Shout out Mr. Barbier if you're ever hearing this. But he ran a math class that had no homework whatsoever. That was the rule. You will never work on a piece of work outside of this class. And that is such a relief off of a student's shoulders, and actually makes you want to learn a little more. Because here's the thing, me in high school was like, I'm either going to cheat, I'm going to have to copy somebody else's homework and finish your homework, or, or I'm just going to sit in class and learn what I can. And I learned way more when I didn't feel pressured on homework than when I did.
And it was applied math, so it was only math that you use in the real world. Like, that's all we did was that type of math.
Yeah.
Oh
I
wow.
didn't I didn't need to know, and I still don't need to know. When am I ever going to have to run across like any sort of math equation that's beyond what you would have to do at a grocery store or to hang paintings on the wall? You know what I mean? Like, my God, that's really all you need, unless you go to college and you decide to move on with.
Well, let's chat about that, because here's the thing, right? So like, one of the jobs that I used to look at too when I was, ironically, and it's funny that I talk about school because I actually went all the way to my master's, right? But like, for me, I'm frustrated because one of the careers that I was originally going to pursue when I was finishing my master's was actually in data science. I thought data science would have been something that you start off with a very, very incredible salary. You're learning a skill that so many companies need with, analyzing data and so many more. But I realized that I don't actually have the backing to go out and apply for this. So for me, I had to look at, a 12-week course, or do something outside of it. And so, like, if the work can justify what the result could be, I would have felt so much better, because if I had spent a class in my master's learning all that, and then when I did apply, I had the confidence to know that I could represent the work, or at least learn the work, then I could have had a really lucrative career to start off in something that is needed by all the top companies. But I wasn't able to do that. So that's why it's like, well, maybe that's something I can pursue now because there are all those resources out there. But like that work's got to make sense for what your result you're trying to get. And so like I felt like I was always stuck short because there's so many opportunities out there to grab onto, but I didn't know about them in school. And I'm the person that took every opportunity you could at school. But I would have loved to learn what it takes to do those positions that, could be life changing in a lot of other ways and important skills to have. I don't know. Do you guys get that same vibe, that same feel? Is there anything you guys want to do where you're like, I need massive education for this, where that schooling really did make sense? How about aerospace engineering, Drew? Isn't that the big passion, the secret nerdy side of you that we all love and we want to share with the world?
Yeah, man. I mean, like when it comes to aerospace engineering and stuff like that, that's stuff that I love, and I think it's super fascinating. I love spending my time on like studying it more and more. But my perspective growing up, dude. I mean, my grandfather got his doctorate, right? And other than that, he's the only person in my immediate family to go to college and actually finish.
Wow.
Everybody else in my family, my dad went and played football and baseball at Iowa State. Or no, sorry, I think just baseball at Iowa State. Um, my brother went and played football and baseball in college as well, and both ended up dropping out and ended up not wanting to pursue the education, which I totally aligned myself with. And so I knew since day one that I wasn't going to be doing college. You could go back to fifth grade, Drew, and ask him when he would go where he's going to college. He would have told you I'm not going to college. So no, I never even contemplated it. Even if I loved aerospace engineering, I never saw the value in spending, 4, 6, 8 years in college where I could be getting my education from the University of Hard Knocks, starting my own business and learning it as I go.
And that was another badass thing about our business development class was every week a new student got to choose someone they're interested in, like a person that is in a job that they're interested in. They come and speak at our business development class. So Drew and
Wow.
we had two realtors come and speak, and they just talk about what you need to do to get to where they're at, what it's like being in that position, and I think that would be super important for all high schools to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah,
school, guys.
yeah, yeah. No, incredible school. Shout out Gilbert High School. I do love all the teachers there. They really did an incredible job. They really did. Larry, what's going on, man? I know you have an interesting relationship with college.
Um, yeah, no, I mean, I don't have anything really against. I think it's needed for a lot of people and what they want to do. I think first question you should kind of ask yourself is, or at least, you know, what I would imagine is a good first step to take is like, what do you want to do? You know, and like it just so happens that um, what I wanted to do didn't need a degree. Um, Now, like factoring in some of the things before I whittled my list down of what I wanted to do, did in fact need degrees and you know, I also factored in like time and money into my decision as far as like would I prefer to be a fireman, and I don't know anything about this, but I would imagine you could be a fireman and 2 years, a year. I don't know. Maybe it's different in all the states we're in, but do I prefer to be that in a couple years versus a doctor in 8? Do I prefer to be a fireman over a doctor and, I don't know, a quarter of the amount of time, less if you're talking cost? Um, and all the things associated with it. I don't know. Putting on the uniform is probably one of those things. Um, Having like a sense of purpose is probably another thing. I'm sure people factor in salary. Um, I'm sure people factor in like work life balance, quality of life, perks, pension, right? And for me, when I looked at all of the things that I was willing to sacrifice and do, I was not somebody who was going to do 10 years of school to become I would imagine aerospace engineer, you're in school for a while. I know a doctor, you're in school for a while. Um, I was not going to do that no matter what, and so I was looking at 4 years at best and factoring in like how much, a state university would cost, and researching all of the degrees I could get, and then also transposing that on like starting salaries, and then where could I be in 5 years with that salary? Where's the ceiling on that salary?
Yeah.
And it just didn't make any sense to me. You know, I figured that I could spend my 20s, because at this point I'm in my 20s, right? Um, I could spend my 20s, um, like Lucas kicked off the conversation, trying to find a certificate, a license, a business, um, you know, any number of these things, which, by the way, is way more fucking vast. You could just
Yeah.
conjure up an idea and run with it, just pop open a business, innovate, a certain sector or industry. Um, you can get any number of license or certificate, and one is a lot of times, not all, but these certificates and licenses don't take quite as long to achieve, um, and two are not even a fraction of the cost. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you're exactly right. And another thing like that too is I have if I did go to college of any sort, it would have been a trade school because I think like I don't know, I could be way off on this, but in a world where I feel like so many people are going into data or going into tech or going into any sort of computer software work, I feel like we're losing the amount of people that have the trades and the skills to just keep the original facets of life going, like building a home or air conditioning, stuff that you can't, that's not replaceable. You can't replace that, right? AI can write code. AI can't build an air conditioner. So if I would have done any sort of schooling, it definitely would have been trade school.
Well, bro, imagine being able to like want to go work with AI, like the average person wanting to go work with AI. Like, wait till there's something out there that allowed them to be able to do that. Because there's so much future and there's so much promise and so many things that are coming out that like how are the schools going to adapt to what is happening? Like what do I have to do now to understand AI outside of just using ChatGPT every single day? Which, by the way, I've read more books in my entire life because of ChatGPT, but I still, I would love to actually learn how can I actually go apply for an AI job that might need me. The truth is, I have to learn all those skills, and that has to do with your major too. But like, I don't even have the basic understanding of where I would even start to do that. I do know I'm fascinated with it. Same with, there's just so many new industries or things that are happening where it's like, what can I do to stay upon that? And is school that answer for that? Or is it finding another direction as well? Right?
Well, I got a question for you guys because I was thinking about this the other day. Um, what's going to happen to all the people whose jobs get overtaken by technology? Like have you guys seen the videos of the servers, like the robotic servers?
Like the
Yeah.
McDonald's, like
Yeah, they,
that one McDonald's that's going fully robotic.
it's literally they have robots that come up to you, give you your food and drink. They know where your table is because it's programmed, and it's not an issue. I've seen some spill a couple drinks, but so do humans. But anyways, what's going to happen to that? Like in Arizona, we have a startup company that does driverless taxis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like there's
So like
literally no drivers
Uber,
in these Ubers.
Uber drivers are gone.
So what's going to happen? Like what do you think actually happens to all these people when we don't need servers, when we don't need drivers, when we don't need any of these
universal
jobs?
basic income is what happens.
Well, that's not ideal. I don't want to live in a world where income has become basic. I want to live in a world where you have to fight for it.
You know, I guess for me though, I look at it as those jobs, you know, may disappear or evolve, whatever the word's going to be or whatever's going to happen. I will say though that some of these technologies, the problems they solve are so vast and incredible that they're very disruptive. And I think that disruption is going to create, continue to create a more polarized world in the sense of, you know, do I adapt? Do I learn and really become a part of these new technologies, or do I say screw that? I still believe in. I want to have a person serving me my food. I want that experience, whatever it may be. And I think that the interesting part is if we're willing to learn these technologies and how they can solve a lot of problems and allow us to build from these technologies, I think that's the beautiful thing about them is it can create a lot of entrepreneurs because there's so much that these technologies can do. For example, AI doesn't get tired. AI can go 24/7. They don't need to eat, they don't need to sleep, they don't need to go to the bathroom. But like at the same time, having a conversation with with a computer is a lot different than with a person. And are you going to make a sale? Are you going to do a lot of things differently? Do you even know if you're talking to a person versus a human? So I see a lot of good from it. I see a lot of bad, but I think there's a lot more good from it as long as you're willing to learn and adapt from it and understand it. It's just my personal perspective. And I hope we see that more of that.
Yeah, and I agree. I believe me, I am. I've been a fan of Tesla and Elon since day one. I think this is all super fascinating. I think ChatGPT does wonders. I mean, Drake is finally making good music again because we have AI bots doing it for him. His music's been ass
Dude, that's
for 6 years,
a,
right?
Drew. That's my best buddy. My best buddy's friend made "Cold Winters." Isn't that crazy? The
What?
AI generated song for Drake. He made
What?
that song, bro.
Let's
Nuh-uh.
get that motherfucker
Crazy.
on the
You're in Arizona?
Yeah, no, he's not in Arizona. I don't know. I think he's in Canada. Funny enough, but yeah,
6.
my buddy was like, listen to this song, and he sent it to me, and I was like, wow, when did Drake release this? And he's like, no, my buddy made the beat, and he put on Drake as the AI. They made the entire everything.
Got
Let's
it.
get
We
him on the
gotta get him on
podcast.
here. Yeah, get him on here.
We might have to, man. I'll ask.
Ask
Wait,
him
wait.
for
So
sure.
did he get Drake to use his lyrics, or did the AI use
No,
Drake's voice?
the AI used Drake's voice to make it. That's the craziest thing. So wait till this. So here's an example, right? Now Drake, obviously, I hope he figures out. I mean, he's already got enough money, but I hope he figures out a way to get compensated for other people making bangers out of his voice. But like, straight up, you, me, all of us, if we sat down all day, we could make an entire album of Drake and have a concert that way, or like have a career that way. So like, there is beauty within it, but it's also like, what, right? Like,
That
what
is
the hell?
nuts, dude.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wait, is that accessible to anybody?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. Yeah, dude. I like, for example, we could start a YouTube channel and have, let's say, Morgan Freeman being the person talking behind the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
Larry, I highly recommend you go try to find "Heart on My Sleeve" by Ghostwriter. Um,
Crazy,
it
crazy.
it's insane.
Listen to that. It's so good.
It's the best Drake song that I've heard in the last
That's
4 years,
And he didn't make
and
it.
hmm,
And he didn't make it.
he has
No.
nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do with it. It's
just his
Drake.
voice. Like,
It's Drake featuring The Weeknd. It's like, oh my god, what a good song! And he comes in. I came in.
yeah.
This beat is tough, dude, and it's like, oh my god.
So just to reel it all back in, like that's why this conversation's so important about, and maybe it's not even just about school, but it's like, what the hell do we all need to learn about to really thrive in where this world's going? We are going through a technological movement that is so insane
Yeah,
in so many regards, and it is scary. It is incredible. It is like but where do you find yourself and where do you fit in and what can you do to be ahead of the game? Like, for all I know, I have a Twitter, for example. I really barely use it. I could be talking to robots the entire time or watching them speak, and I have no idea. And it's like, where do you find out like where you're at and how do you position yourself in this new world? Like, what the hell, you
I
know?
I think I think there's a sweet spot in what's going on in our world, and I think people enjoy the technology but crave human connection. And I think finding a sweet spot where you're able to use incredible technology platforms to funnel into a digital networking company where you're still talking with other humans. We're not talking to robots, but we're using technology to be attractive and get them there. And behind the scenes, we are building digital networking companies. So I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I think there's a sweet spot there.
I'll
Well,
send in my robot to host the show next week and see if you guys even
We
can
probably won't
call it.
even know.
If we notice. You never know, though. I mean, it is pretty insane. It is pretty
it's
insane. What do you think, Lucas?
you know what? I think the faster we can all learn and understand it, the better. I think there's so much to understand that it's like drinking out a fire hose. But I will tell you guys, like, it makes anything impossible possible now. And I think that's what's really crazy about it. Like, this metaverse, for example, however far people are willing to dive into it, it's going to be a whole new world. And EXP is a perfect example of innovation, as they really are a technology company that does real estate. That's all it is. Like, and they're so good at it. And like, to be able to walk around and have an avatar and go to take a ticket out and ask, hey, I didn't get or I didn't get whatever documents, whatever it is you're looking for, and to be able to do it that way, to me in itself was like, oh my god, because that's the way you can spawn connection. Now I have a connection through my avatar with people that I'm talking to. So it's like, how far do you want to take it? Is it necessary to learn? I'd say so. If you want to learn how to make money in more strategic ways, or figure out ways to grow, and like, I don't know. Like, I would love to understand how to use ChatGPT. I'd love to understand how to utilize so many more of these opportunities to capitalize financially, improve maybe some skills that I want to improve, whatever that may be. Like, I could easily use it to cook, right? That would be a great example of what I brought up earlier. I want to be an incredible cook. I think that's so fundamental to connection within your family, friends, whatever you're doing. And it's like, I guess it really is that sweet spot you do mention, but it's also like, my God, like, that's a lot. That's a lot coming at us fast.
Yeah, dude, I think, gosh, part of me doesn't want to say this because I have some ideas going on that would be smart. But I think we could do like a video series where we relate our professional skill base in real estate contracts and transactions to what ChatGPT has to say about it. And we sit down on camera and we ask ChatGPT, how do I sell my home? And then we see what it says and we react live to what it would say. We should definitely do that because people are craving more information on this stuff right now. I think it's a no-brainer. We should probably make that video series.
That's a good idea.
100%.
Like
100%.
like we say what we would say first before the AI to see if it's similar, or you're just saying we react to what they say.
That would be a fascinating
Chat
way to
GBT
do it.
stream, live stream.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. And we can all do our thumbnails. I think that one is perfect for the one I did of this.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be, that. Would be that.
That's,
Lucas is overreacting to this AI.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
have we
I
used
just
that
seen so many
thumbnail
videos
yet?
like that. Oh my
we,
God.
we, we did use it. Yeah, we did use it. I'm gonna need new insane reaction photos of you guys right when we're done with this call.
AI
Yeah.
AI takes over the young professional show. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I
What
mean,
should
we
the
should only use Lucas's original OG thumbnail for everything.
Yeah.
Even like just boring topics. It's what Lucas is always.
Larry, how to cook pasta?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, dude! Like, what the hell? Like,
it's so
oh,
funny. What should we name this episode, guys? We've
That's what
talked about things.
we use AI to name our episodes now. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. I mean, come on. We actually do. We actually do. We AI comes up with the names of the episodes to see what
Yeah.
works best with the community because that's another thing. AI has all this data. It would take us months to figure out exactly what words and what punctuation marks hit best in the United States. It knows
yep.
it in 2 seconds. We put it in and it says this has a score of 67, and there's 2.2 million videos right now that have a topic like this.
Yep.
Or change it up a little bit. This is a 78, and there's only 1,000 videos like this. You're way better off. It's insane.
I'll tell you
Well,
one thing, tying it into school. So much cooler to go to school nowadays than when I went to school with AI. I mean, I would have been able to do, God, I mean, not saying that I would have done any of this. I probably would have just skateboarded and, caused a ruckus 10x. But, you know, now I would imagine you could write all your papers with AI. You could, I don't know, even if you had to show up and take an exam, you could study, way quicker and easier with the tools
yeah.
and technology they have now, freeing up your time to, like, if you were a student unlike me, go get a degree, enroll in some sort of early college or a certificate or a license in something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I would have to think it makes cheating a lot easier. When we were in school, we had this thing called photo math. Have you guys ever heard of photo math?
Yeah. Photo math was good
Yeah.
because you
Yeah,
could just
Larry,
do
you?
no problem for you.
I don't know photo math. I don't think we
So
had photo math in my ancient days.
So basically, what it would be, right, is you'd have a math equation on a piece of paper, just like this. You
Okay.
would just take a picture of it, and it within 2 to 3 seconds, boom,
See,
it would be
see,
fixed.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I don't know that we should use the word cheating. By whose rules? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't ask to go to public school. It was just what I had to do, And, like, I also didn't ask to, like, need to read, history or whatever. It was just a barrier in my way. Like,
Well, you're right. And at one point in time, using a calculator was cheating. Now we have calculators in our pockets. So if using ChatGPT is cheating, in 5 years, oh, why don't you just ChatGPT it?
I would go even as far as to say this. If you are a high schooler listening to this, don't take my word as the end all be all, but I will give you a new perspective on it by saying this. If you are smart enough, innovative enough, creative enough to say, I need to get this paper done or this problem solved in order to get my grade, to finish a semester, to graduate, to whatever, to keep my parents off my back or whatever, and you go find an alternative route that nobody in your class is thinking of doing, using, and you get a grade that's acceptable or better or equal to
Yeah.
theirs, like, you learned a skill better than
Yeah.
any skill I learned.
Yeah, you're probably the smartest kid in the room.
That's
Exactly.
problem solving at its finest.
That's why I don't understand if like this cheating is beneficial or if it's not beneficial. Like it's something we're
Well,
about to find out, I guess, in a couple of
well,
years.
dude, that's a good point because like I think that's where you have to step in and be like, well, I should probably learn that 2 + 2 = 4. But if I learn that, I need to figure out how to do this to get to this, I hopefully you have the fastest, most optimized way of figuring that out. So you're not wasting so much time trying to learn something that has already been built in the technology, right? Like at the end of the day, all we got is time. If these things are going to help us optimize time and be more effective and efficient, leads to a better life, leads to something that will allow us to focus on the real growth. And maybe that's what we could talk about. Like, if there were 10 things, guys, and just name them out, and we can figure it out and cut it down. But like, what would be your 10 things where, let's say that AI and all this stuff really is able to just save us so much time, effort, all that stuff? What would be the 10 things that you would focus on that would help build you better that you wish you learned? And like, I'll just start with one right away. I would love, just I guess I can keep the same example I used earlier. I wish I knew how to cook. I wish every single night I freaking made the best meal of my life, and I'm not doing
My
that because
guy is hungry.
I'm
He's
spending.
just
I'm
super
starving,
hungry.
dude. No, 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 no. I need,
He's
I
just
need,
hungry, dude.
I need more time. I need more time to dedicate to that skill that I think is so fundamental,
Well,
right?
that's one of your top tens, though. That's
Oh,
like,
100%. Dude, it's embarrassing. No one knows how to cook. I go to my friend's house, no one knows how to cook.
are
Like,
you talking just like basic cooking to where you can enjoy a meal? Or are you talking like
no, no, no.
ramen noodles with like
I'm,
crispy duck?
I, well, I don't know what to tell you more than like, I'll give you an example, right? I'm all about longevity. I'm trying to live the longest amount of years with the most amount of quality of years throughout my entire life. Like I look at it as I pray to God there is something else that's really after this, but I have the certainty to know that I would love to enjoy this life as much as possible for as long as possible. And so one of the things I learned about were called blue zones. And blue zones are these people that are averaging like 94 years old lifespans, and they're still giggling and laughing and working at 94. And I guess what for me it was like, well, one of the main things, components of them living a long and healthy life was the social aspect. And that social aspect seemed to be the common denominator was really good, healthy, tasteful, good food that brought people together and brought a sense of socialization and community. Where, like, I look at it as not just being able to eat good every night, but like, imagine I'm extending the offer to, you guys to come over, pop open bottle of wine, have some beers, whatever it may be, in addition to the good meal. But like that laughter, that connection, that to me is what's so freaking real. And that's I guess how I look at food is it's your way. It can't, for me, I don't want it to be just entertainment where I go and I spend $150 for a juicy steak when I could have gone and done that for a fraction of the price and actually made it myself. And I don't know if anyone else is the same ways like this. I'm pretty sure we all are. But when you eat a home cooked meal, there is just nothing like it. There really isn't. So that's my argument for why I think that would be a top 10 skill.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you mine. I guess mine wouldn't be really learning a skill. If anything, it's actually the opposite. It's something that a lot of innovators are already working on. But if we want to talk about time efficiency, we got to talk about how much time we spend driving. I think it'd be unbelievable to have this technology come into a system that is so good at driving that there is no cockpit. There is no reason to have a steering wheel. In fact, you sit back, you have a table. It's like you're on a private jet and you can work for the hour drive that you have. So you're working, you're calling while you're on the phone. You don't even have to think about it. Bada boom, you're at the destination. That's where
So
I
that would
think
be
this
in your
technology.
that would be in your school top 10. A whole like a. I'm trying to understand what we're because I'm trying to craft mine. What are we? What am I trying to craft here?
I
Let
know,
me
I
ask
know,
you
I know
real
what
quick.
mine would be. Mine would be
Your what?
building.
Wait, pause. What is your what? I'm lost here. What are
The,
we? Because
the
I want to
top,
have one, but I don't
the,
know.
what it is the top 10 ways that we think technology and this new generation of technology can benefit lives.
Oh
Is
shit.
that correct, Lucas?
That's what
The
I
first
thought
is
it was.
cooking.
It's well,
I'm
I
I'm
Well,
I
too
Lucas,
far
oh
gone right
shit.
now.
okay. Let me okay, I got you guys. Basic,
Rewind.
and yes, it is like
Rewind.
that. Like, imagine if you could choose 10 things that you would educate yourself and become amazing at, or be proficient at, or learn about, that would help you develop a more connected, better life? I like, guys, it doesn't have to be so I'll give you an example. Like, half the world doesn't know how to fucking communicate with each other. You know how embarrassing
That
that is
was where I was
and
thinking
sad
about
that
going
is.
with it,
Dude,
and then I heard
There,
cars, and I'm like, wait, what are we
what?
doing?
But
yeah,
it's because I brought in the technology aspect of what would you do if this technology works so effectively to allow you, where your days are focused on what you want to focus on and become better at. What would you say those top 10 things would be? So it's a combination of that. If that makes any
Okay.
sense at
All
all.
right, because you would rather cook the meal rather than have a robot cook the home cooked meal that's probably equal or better.
I would love to have that skill. Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
And
yes.
So
you would rather have the car drive yourself, have it done for you, or you want to learn how to do that, Andrew?
sorry. I mean, like, if I guess if we're talking about like a skill based thing, then well, I don't know. I mean,
I
yeah,
feel
I
like
would.
we're building a superhero here. Like, what skill do you want? I'm like,
but
I
that
want trampoline shoes.
Drew,
I
that still surprises me because I feel like you're the type of guy that like wants to drive. Like you like the feeling of driving your car.
Oh, dude, don't get me wrong. I still need to have a Shelby GT 500 in the garage, and I'm still
Where
gonna
am
rip
I?
it.
Where am I?
I'm still gonna rip it. But I'm saying if I'm going on a 5 hour drive somewhere, I'm not driving it. I'm working or I'm watching Netflix. I mean, at the very least, right? I mean, who
This
cares
is
about
more
being productive?
unhinged.
Are we talking about this technology is doing it for us, or it's teaching us how to do it?
All
No,
right,
I'm
you know what,
talking
guys?
about,
I don't fucking know what we're talking about
guys,
anymore.
guys, I'm
You know what
talking
mine
about,
would be? My top
please tell
10
us.
would be like an Alexa robot, right? Like an Alexa little robot thing where when nobody can understand anyone on the podcast, it just time out and it just clarifies everything.
It just pauses
Just
the
complete
recording.
clarification of all anything.
Because I was
See,
gonna say mine was gonna be if it was doing it for us. I was gonna say I wanted to do the 15-minute challenge for me and build out my schedule for
Because
me.
I'm with that. If I could do anything, it would be I want to eat uh, fried food, cheeseburgers, uh, sushi, all those things, and have a six pack. That's mine. Am
all
I
right,
wrong? Am I off?
No,
everyone's off right now.
amazing.
Okay,
The
we're
whole
cutting this out then because I'm lost.
here's the thing. If I let's pretend like all of that was just a fun conversation we're all having. What I'm really asking you guys is this: the world's moving into an amazing, amazing place where there's going to be more efficiencies and there's going to be more things that we don't have to waste our time and bullshit on. Because we don't have to waste our time in bullshit, we're going to have more time to grow as individuals and discover what the hell it is, that what those skills would be that we'd want to learn and become good at, so that we can enjoy this huge human experience that we have. And what would those skills actually be to allow us to enjoy the world? That's it. It has nothing to do with technology per se.
Communication for me.
Can-
That's where I was
Yeah,
yeah.
initially going with it.
I
Is
want
communication.
I want better Riz, so that'd go off of communication.
What's a Riz?
Uh, Good communication with women, or the opposite sex, or the sex that you're in.
Jacob?
Really, Riz.
Yep, Riz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine would be communication, like in a communication or like humanities kind of stuff. How to better
Yeah.
understand other people.
Okay. So like breaking down language barrier.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, that would be very beneficial to our business as well. Like if I could just understand in an instant what you meant. Like if I had an earpiece on that heard what you said and live feed translated it to English from any language that you just spoke, that would be incredible. Patent that shit.
Um, I guess like I don't you know what I don't know if I ever posed that question right, but I will tell you guys this.
Andrew just
No,
keeps trying
no.
to take it
I think
to the Mars version of Earth.
you. I think
I'm
you're
over here just saying I want to cook, and everyone I don't know where everyone else is going with this. Like,
Lucas, I heard you loud and clear, dude.
Larry, you knew, bro. You said communication. I'm just all I'm trying to say is that people don't know how to communicate with other people. People say they're introverts. It's just levels to this shit. You're allowed. You can
You know,
be as far as you want to take it. Some people may have something more natural or innate in them.
you know what
But
I
I'm
think,
just
dude?
trying to, all I'm trying to do is give the perspective of like, look, if I were to do this whole schooling shit over again, knowing where the world's going, I would learn how to day trade. I would understand nutrition. I would actually go learn how to work out and effectively feel good and not just work out for my stupid ego that we're all blinded by. I would learn, I would understand the blockchain. I'd understand how that can actually be a solution to so many things in the world. I would learn I'd fucking learn Excel. I don't even know how to do Excel, you guys. Like, come on, you know what I mean?
I would even learn
Damn.
Excel.
Like, God.
Excel
That's,
training.
Yeah, we're chopping that up to a reel. That entire just anger fueled rant right there. With I would even learn Excel.
like, really,
Yeah.
what learn it? I'd
We're
get
gonna
my,
add something. We're gonna add something to the beginning of that. We're gonna start it as like infant Lucas, where he's like, if all this stuff, I would learn. I would have my shoes tied by myself every morning. I would pack my lunchbox, and then goes infinitely into like it's like a gradient into all the way in the highest thing that at the end is Lucas saying, I would learn Excel.
fuck, man.
That because that gave me Jordan Belfort vibes when he's contemplating leaving and he stands up in front of everybody in the workplace. He goes, "I'm not fucking leaving."
I ain't fucking leaving. I love that shit, dude.
That's Lucas with Excel, and
I
they have
think there's
Excel
going to
training.
be I think there's going to be two kinds of people with it though. There's going to be people who leverage AI technology to go live a better human experience. And I think there's going to be people who just get lost in the shit.
Yeah.
They already
And
are,
it does the
bro.
opposite.
I think most people are going to get lost in the sauce, right? I mean, you really have to be an
Lost in the
innovative
sauce.
thinker. You really, really have to be an innovative thinker to even adapt this change in life because there's so many people that are like, oh my God, I mean, dude, let's go back 2 years ago or multiple years ago when cryptocurrency became a thing. People were like, hell no, I'm not doing no cryptocurrency. That shit's stupid. And then go into NFTs. What? I can just screenshot that and I have it too. People don't understand that, right? And so
Why are
this
all
is,
these people like country people?
whoa. Hey,
Why are they all of a sudden country people? Just
And
all the people in
we
crypto
are
of the world
we
are
too
country.
are Iowan. We're country people.
Oh, okay. So you were referencing the people around you at the time.
I'm too
They
stupid to buy cryptocurrency. I don't understand NFTs.
This thing is
Oh my God.
completely unhinged.
That's no,
Oh,
hey, that's no discrimination. I love I love my country folk. That had nothing to do with them. I just like making voices.
so back to Mindset Monday. I really think that
Should we just I'm gonna go to the restroom. And then we'll start again.
Yeah, let's rerun it.
This was
Let's rerun
this was fun.
this whole
We'll
episode.
get some reels out of it or something, right?
Yeah. All right, Larry's taking a potty break. Boys, let's talk about a side note real quick, and then we'll wrap up the episode. For those
holy
listening, this episode will be done in the next 5 minutes. But Lucas, let's talk about something fun, man. What? Oh, we watched an incredible movie last night,
what movie?
The Covenant.
Oh, I saw your Instagram story with Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Dude. Please, I'm telling you, bro. Take Sarah to this movie.
In theaters.
Yes. Don't wait to watch it at home, bro. This is a theaters movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was so incredible. And I think The Covenant is a super cool. It's a cool name for the movie, but covenant means like a bond. a relationship. It's so sweet. It's such a
That's
cool.
awesome. That's
I say
awesome.
before we run this thing, someone explain to me what we're gonna talk about because I was spinning there, man. Like, what are we?
We're
All right,
fin.
give me the
We're
topic. So we're doing.
Let's talk about cooking.
We're wrapping up the episode.
we're wrapping up the episode right now.
All right.
Say your final thoughts. Any final thoughts?
Oh, did you pause it while I went to the bathroom?
No, we just talked about the new
We're
Jake
still
Gyllenhaal.
running. We're still
All right,
going
so
right now.
This is the whole episode. My final thoughts.
That's it. Okay. Lucas, any final thoughts?
Yeah, learn as much of this new shit as you possibly can to make your life better. That's what I would say.
That's good. I just want to say, hey, if you're listening this far, I don't know why, but we really appreciate it.
We apologize and appreciate it.
You know what, guys? You know what, guys? As somebody who listens to podcasts every single day, shit gets boring when you stay on track. Shit gets boring. I mean, people want to listen to people having a normal conversation. At the end of the day, this was a normal conversation for us. So I got no problem with how this episode went, right?
No, I loved it. I had a blast.
In fact, I prefer it. I prefer it. And as far as like the whole technology stuff goes, I'm with Lucas. I guess just try to adapt it one piece at a time. It's all going to be super confusing, but I think like I think you have two ways to go. You either stick to your path and you just blindside all of it, or if you are somebody like us, because I know all of you well enough to know that we need to be innovative. We want to think on our toes. We don't want to get lost in the sauce because, I mean, what did they say 2 years ago? All of the old people, sorry, all the old realtors I was talking to, they're like, we don't want to make videos. But then everybody's like, well, then your business is screwed in 5 years. This is just the next implementation of it, guys. Like we gotta just take our time with it, understand it, figure out how we can implement it. More importantly, how can we implement it to social media marketing, because that's the number one tactic to growing a company. And I think we're going to be golden if we can implement technology and social media, funnel it into a business. We're going to be millionaires. Enough said.
I do have one thing to add, and I apologize for being just completely lost this whole time.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Lucas Baghdadi, School of Excel Spreadsheets 2024. Sign up, pre-register.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Let's get your credits, guys.
Yeah, use code Young Professional Show to get 10% off your Excel class with Lucas Baghdadi.
Yep.
Well,
Might
boys,
yeah.
let's shut this one down, guys. This was a hell of an episode. For those still listening, thank you so much. Again, if you wouldn't mind liking, commenting, and following the Instagram, that'd be incredible. Of course, we're going to be chopping up reels from this and giving you guys clips from the most fun and exciting and valuable parts of this episode. If you prefer them to watch them that way, please go to Instagram and check it out that way as well. This show is available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. We would appreciate a high quality rating on all of those platforms. It helps the algorithm grow. And without further ado, go out and just crush it this week. You know what I mean? Huh? Can we get a little motivation for the people listening?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Crush it.
Crush it.
Crush it.
All right.
Crush it.
Crush it.
Crush it.